light that has lighted the world stands out as one of the most emotionally powerful pieces from George Harrison's 1973 album, Living in the Material World. The song expressed his thoughts on how people perceive the transformations he underwent once wealth and fame became part of his reality. It was not just a personal statement, but also a philosophical reflection on the inevitability of change as the essence of life itself. The towering success of All Things Must Pass meant that the albums which followed sometimes failed to receive the recognition they deserved. Living in the Material World is a prime example. Although the record was quieter and far less flamboyant than its predecessor, it possessed a depth that was every bit as compelling. In its muted tones lay a spiritual resonance that gave it enduring significance. Harrison included the light that has lighted the world on that album, but the track had initially been conceived for a very different purpose. It was one of a series of songs he wrote with Cilla Black in mind. Black, a major recording star in Britain, came from the same Liverpool background as the Beatles, and that shared history had long linked her career with theirs. Harrison's willingness to provide her with material was a natural extension of that connection. When he had prepared When the Song is Sung as a potential single for Black, he realized she would also require a B-side. For that reason, he composed another track, shaping it around a theme that he believed would resonate with her. Like Harrison himself, Black had risen from humble beginnings to the heights of celebrity, and the radical transformation of that journey became the central subject of The Light That Has Lighted the World. The song also drew deeply from Harrison's personal experience. He often felt that people who had known him before fame tended to look critically at what he had become afterward. In his memoir, I, Me, Mine, he wrote that people commonly treated change as though it were a kind of sin. He argued, however, that life itself was nothing but change, from morning to night, from one season to another, and ultimately from birth to death. To him, change was not an exception to the rule, but the rule itself. That philosophy infused the lyrics. At the beginning of the song, Harrison acknowledged that he had heard others say he had changed, establishing the premise right away. He suggested that this mindset did nothing but cause those critics their own suffering, since the negativity they carried inside was etched visibly across their faces, like scars left behind by the very ill feelings they generated. The second verse expanded this theme. Harrison expressed pity for those who were unable to accept the transformations that life demands. Their craving for permanence, he implied, stood in opposition to the natural order, as though they would prefer to rearrange nature itself. He likened them to people trapped at the bottom of a hole, unable to move forward and incapable of growth. In contrast, Harrison made it clear that he embraced change and regarded it as something to be cherished. He expressed gratitude toward anyone who lived with freedom and happiness, since such individuals offered him hope while he continued on his own search for what he described as the light that has lighted the world. That phrase carried the cosmic weight so characteristic of Harrison's songwriting. As in much of his music, he framed personal experience within a spiritual dimension, suggesting that life's transformations are not only natural, but sacred. For him, change was not to be feared, but welcomed as a source of renewal. With the light that has lighted the world, Harrison communicated this vision with quiet eloquence. The song reaffirmed his conviction that change is the very essence of life, something to be honored rather than resisted. In doing so, he offered not only an intimate reflection on his own journey, but also a universal message to anyone willing to listen.